Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm sorry for the delay. We somehow got kicked off Twitch, but we are live on YouTube at the moment because we wanted to bring you the action in some way, shape or form. We've missed a lot of the qualifying, but I feel like a lot of what happened before, what we said before qualifying, has come to fruition. We've got the low 17s, we've got a Higgle on top in there. But yes, we are back online, hopefully to bring you some awesome racing for the sprint qualifying and the feature race. Has come to fruition. We've got the low 17, we've got a Higgle on top in there. But yes, we're back online. Hopefully to produce Oh! We had Alex on a lap and he's just spun it in the last chicane, coming back onto the track. He will, which means he will not be improving from third place. We've got Logan, he's also in the pits. I think this is the order we've got for our sprint qualifying, Steve. Which means he will not be improving from third place. We've got Logan, he's also in the pits. I think this is the order we've got for us for qualifying, Steve. So we have our order for the sprint qualifying. We've got Higgle, Thomas Hunter, Hegel plays, Bottle Fire plays. The amount of names we know for this man is unbelievable. But he is lying up on the front row of the grid with Jinnit right behind him. On the second row, we've got Alex Stock, followed by Logan, who did not expect to have any pace coming into this qualifier. And then Pengoy, quarterback, Bakes, Harrison, Jordan, Jason, Josh, Jake Smalls, Johnny Griffiths, Joe Jr. for the top 14. Jason, Josh, Jake Smalls, Johnny Griffiths, Joe Jr. for the top 14. Hopefully we won't have that. But the whole reason we want to keep this formation lap right is to build that tension going into these races. Usually before, we'd have, you press ready, you go straight onto the grid and start your race. Whereas we wanted to build up the tension. You know how nerve-wracking those starts can be. And I think this just builds to that pressure. Doing a few sessions earlier in the week, I did notice that softs dropped off a lot compared to the mediums, so maybe that was just a no-brainer. It doesn't matter how much more pace those softs would have if they were just going to fall off. There's no point in using them. And then the hards, you know, just maybe not enough pace at all. I feel like 11 laps is perfect for these medium tyres. As we see, we're going to go to the front of the grid now with Higgle. Has he lined up his car any more to the left, any more to the right to block off Jinnit going into the first corner? Hopefully. Maybe not, maybe not. Snot chose the greatest camera angle, broadcast camera angle for this. Yep, we will be right back soon so we can get this race undergoing. Hello everyone, we are back. Third time lucky, hopefully. We've edited the grid. We should have our qualifying positions for the sprint qualifying, and then we've taken formation lap off, so we should be able to go into both sessions. We're going to go onto the grid now, where we are waiting for the players, and the race will start in 30 seconds. I'm really sorry for the inconvenient wait for anyone who has been waiting, but we will be racing soon. Exactly. Teething issues for the drivers and teething issues for us. Yeah, exactly. It'd be too easy if we didn't have any issues at all. But here we go. We're on board with Higgle for the start. He won't get to choose his position. We've got 5 lights, and they're out, and away we go. Higgle's been struggling with the starts, but so has Ginny by the looks of it. Going down. We've got Ginny that's already made his way down to 4th. Higgle keeping the lead, going down into the first corner. Yes, as you said, we've got Aston Martin sitting together in 7th and 8th. But we actually have Logan going from 4th up into 2nd on that start, right on the heels of Thomas Hunter. Going into the last corner now, and he's less than a second. We're going to want to see Higgle break that second mark for when the DRS becomes available in on the 3rd lap that I believe it becomes activated. We've said it's his racing stories are a tale of 2 halves, really. You've got one side that is just unstoppable, and then you've got the other side that, you know, he was never going to want to tell you about his bad weekends, because whenever it rains it pours. But at the moment it's looking like it's going his way. Only 8 tenths behind Higgle coming into the 3rd sector. So Steve, just quickly to jump in, I can hear you perfectly fine, but we've had a few people say they can't hear you at all, and I don't know why that would be. I've got you. You're not. Yeah, which we heard you perfectly fine before, but we can't hear you on through here. So is it like a streamer mode, possibly on Discord? So we can hear you fine on Twitch, but maybe not so much on YouTube. Okay, hopefully. If you just speak just now, actually. You're not coming through my desktop audio, which is... Audio, desktop audio. I don't know why that would be. So I'm just trying to sort these issues out now. Yeah, I don't know why that would be. I've just realised no one can see the action. So, we're under the safety car, yellow flag. We've currently got Logan leading the race. Bates in second. Harrison in third, Jordan in fourth. I think we're going to go racing again soon. There's a big gap between the safety car and Logan. But also whilst we're doing that, we're also going to try and fix the audio issues between Steve and the commentary. So, bear with us. Can you speak now, Steve? Oh, it's still not picking you up. You do come through as desktop audio, right? me have a look. Arctis, no, I've got Arctis game here, and I need Arctis chat. Right. Now speak.
Well, if it's going throughout this chat, then they won't hear the game at that point.
Can you speak now?
Hello.
Yes, that is now working, but it does mean I can barely hear you, so... If you speak now?
Okay. Hello, hello.
Yes, you're coming through, you are right, that was what it was.
Awesome. So that'll be an interesting thing here. So there may be, as a side effect of hearing my lovely voice, it may mean that the game is slightly quiet because there's a difference between the chat and the game audio.
Yes, but we do have you here now. It's just now the game is a little bit loud for me, so let me just turn that down.
If people don't hear the car audio on the stream, do let us know, but I have a feeling for this qualifier we may not be able to do too much about it, but we'll try and bring you as much of the action as we can as possible, as sadly in all of that we've had a safety car happen at the same time, and a complete change of the order and a restart, and also some key people having some issues, some incidents and things going on, and sadly we've not had a chance to really catch up on them. So it looks like there was some kind of an issue for quarterback during the safety car, where he lost the car in a big way, I noticed, down the main straight, and then during the restart just seeing a couple of people getting caught napping, and I think our most recent victim there has been Jay come into any issues there. But we have had a small little request just start mid-pack, and I have a feeling he's maybe been pushing to try and make up that time, perceiving that, you know, the safety car lasted longer than expected and he's trying to recover that position. Maybe the pressure's just got to him a little there, because the people that have stopped look like they maybe have just sort of lost out a little bit on that one. But it has meant that we've got Logan taking the lead here, with Mark Baker following behind him, and then Harrison Davies in third place, and a big winner from this one, maybe Jordan Clary. So that's a big shake-up of the established order here. You have to say that's, you know, this safety car and the situation we've had here has really turned things around.
You're absolutely right.
This is race 1 of 2.
Race 1 of 2, and we've got 2 top 10 runners now out of the race that are going to be starting at the back of the grid for the next one. As we see McLaren going very wide there, coming out of the blind right-hander. But yeah, it's very nice to have you back on board, Steve. Not gonna lie, I had a great time talking to you, but no one would have heard the goodness that you were coming out with earlier on. But it's okay, you're here with us now, and make up for lost time, basically. You were doing an amazing job. But yeah, hopefully we've got 2 more laps of this.
My best.
Oh, and we've had a spin by Jinnit from the chicane.
Dropping back down the order as well. So this is there's some real victims of this track here. This one I remember last year on the 2021 game, the track here, the curbs aren't kind, and they're not any kinder on this game, obviously with the ground effect cars and the fact that they have remodeled that underfloor now, so the sort of, you know, to go a little bit of a peek behind the curtain here for the game, the actual collisions are a lot more accurate now with the underside of the car. So those curbs are not only as punishing as they were last year, but they're also potentially destabilizing the aero of the car, like even more so. So, you know, there's a huge amount of risk here as we go through, and you can see another a yellow flag. That looks like that's a Haas. That is unfortunately our man Blaster, Rob Arnold, down in 12th now, just having a little bit of a spin coming out of what looks like turn 4. That would have been down at the exit of turn 4, but he's got underway now, so that's green flagged, no collisions, so luckily can continue the race there. But it's what a shake up this has been. We've got a few close battles on track now to watch. So we've got a close battle here between Jal Jr. and our man Kennedy, Jason Kennedy, for 6th and 7th, which I believe you're watching at the moment. And then shortly just behind them, we've got Kuvelix and Moon as well, chasing behind. So there's a couple of close battles that we can follow here.
Sniper is currently the closest he's ever been, going side by side out the last corner, picking up the DRS. I think he's been struggling over the last few laps with straight line speed. He seems to be running a lot more downforce, not being able to make it. And even so, looking at it now, it's the first corner. Joe Jr. is almost alongside, even without any DRS. So hopefully through the cornery sections, the sweeping left and right, that he can pull away. But it's been an absolutely tight and fierce battle between those two.
Absolutely, and I am just on board now with Joe Jr., who is...
Oh, and he's got...
Actually, and there's some contact. That's unfortunate. That was an optimistic move up the inside there. It sadly ended in a little contact for them. Going to just follow on here. Looks like Kennedy's car is fine. But yeah, that's some unfortunate contact.
As we see Jinnit trying to go around the outside of Jake Smalls on those brand new soft tyres, making it stick. Oh my, what a lovely move around the outside there.
Absolutely. Oh, and we see our first couple of penalties coming through here. Qualifier getting a 3-second time penalty there for track extents. So this circuit's quite nasty for track extents. There's a few places here, especially coming out the exit of turn 9, the exit of the last corner. I hear turn 5 as well, and turn 3 are also quite high chances for getting track extents. So the drivers have to keep it within the lines here in order to sort of maintain their positions, especially when they're as close as this. But yeah, we're seeing some lovely racing here as it comes down onto the closing lap then. We're on our final lap with Logan leading. And
as we saw Sniper passing Zhao Jr. early, we've got Jesse, who had that qualifying session, is flying up the pack now, currently in the top 6, goes around the outside of Jason into the first corner. Oh, sublime effort.
Oh, that's a tidy move, absolutely.
That is the kind of racing we've come to expect of Jesse, actually, racing with him in the last few seasons. He's one of the only drivers on the grid I can 100% reliably drive alongside. I actually feel like we've had many a battle where we have driven the whole lap side by side, so it's incredible to see him doing very well.
Absolutely. As we see here then, Logan's coming into the last little sector. He's just got one set of corners here to get it right. He's got long sweeping right-hander coming around into a nice little, like almost a 90-degree into the last chicane. It's going to be this last corner where this is the last traction zone he's got to get right to bring it around and bring it home to take the win for the first qualifying sprint race. And it looks like he's got it round, and he crosses the line.
Congratulations to Logan. Up until the line, we've got a great battle going on between Jordan and Pengoy. It almost looked like Pengoy was pushing Jordan along in that final sector, but they do cross the line with Jordan 4th, Pengoy 5th.
There we go. So that's there we go, all coming through for last thing. Oh, we've had a last little minute spin there from, I believe that will be Jake. That's potentially had a little bit of an issue there coming out the last sector, but there we go. So the rundown of the results there. We've got Logan in first, we've got Mark Baker coming up in second, Harrison in third, Jordan Clary in fourth, Penguay in fifth, Jason Kennedy in sixth, Moon in seventh, Zhao Jr. in eighth, Quvelix in ninth, and Matt Quinton there in 10th. That rounds out your top 10.
Great stuff. What are we expecting to see in the feature race then?
So last time, the changes coming over from the feature race or from the sprint race into the feature were huge. It was almost like a complete change where the grid reversed over the first few laps. It becomes an interesting thing where the people that were leading in the sprint had to, it's different to lead and follow, right? So naturally, you get the advantage to the following car who can see what the guy in front's doing. So this is going to be a real interesting change where all of a sudden all the people that were chasing before now become hunted. It's brilliant.
Absolutely, and as before, we had these points will usually count towards the championship, but right now they're kind of a little bit redundant because we're just using this sprint qualifying as a means to test the cleanliness between the drivers. But 100% when we get to sprint qualifying in the season, we'll be counting these points, which is it's 2 weeks away, I believe.
Yeah, season opener on August 7th. Mark your calendars.
Mark your calendars. Not only will we have amazing racing, we'll have sorted out all our teething issues for commentary and broadcasting. So we will have, touch wood, a smooth broadcast from start to finish. I think there's a few things we've learned. No formation lap.
Definitely.
Twitch doesn't like a few things that we need to investigate and make sure that we don't upset them for next time. I don't know what they are, but hopefully we don't do those things again.
Wondering what happened to Twitch. It looks like we may have been taken down. We're not quite sure why.
Yeah, we have absolutely no idea.
We streamed last week absolutely fine, so
yeah.
It might just be a new account thing that they're doing. But anyway, none of that matters. It's lights for the second race.
And Logan, just like last week, is on pole position, and he's off the grid nicely. We've also got Harrison Davis having a brilliant start all the way up into P2 already, but Logan with a car length going into the first corner, just like Higgle Piggle did, going into the second corner now.
And it looks like they're all coming through cleanly again. I'm just watching near, around the mid-pack in the back here, just to make sure everyone gets through these first corners nice and clean. It looks like everyone's made it through without any issue, so hopefully they'll sort of file themselves in, start jostling for their positions, and get themselves back into that rhythm. Obviously, it's a short break between the sessions, but it's enough just to, maybe just throw you off a little bit, so they're just all going to hunt back into that rhythm again and start chasing down the car in front.
100%, and Linus Sterner, both the AlphaTauris in second and third, with Bakes breathing down their necks. He's basically jumping on the back of the second AlphaTauri, trying to get that third place position. And as we see, Jason going round the outside. What a stunning move there on those soft tyres.
Here we go, yeah, and that's a good point here. So we have some different starting tyres for this race. So let's go through and I'm just going to have a quick look here and see what we're on. So it looks like, do you know what? We've the only difference, there's two differences here. So we've got Jinnit down in 12th on the hard tyre, but we also have Jason on the soft tyre, so looking to capitalise on these, I should imagine, trying to get a good start. We should mention our guy that was leading for the longest time before the safety car in the sprint race, Hegel, down in 10th, sadly had some issues during his qualifying, during the qualifying sprint at least, that sadly he's dropped him back down the order, but I imagine he will be keen to climb up. He's currently following quarterback in 9th very closely.
Yeah, he's 100% had probably the best pace we've seen all week. A favourite to win for myself. I kind of put my foot in it by saying he was going to win, and I think that might have tipped his nerves over the edge for this race. You see the predicted pit stop strategy there? What was that? Starting on softs, was it, or mediums? I can't remember which one was the fastest one there. It was only there for a second. It needs to be a little bit longer so we can proper dissect that image. But what do you think? What do you think is going to be the best strategy here, Steve?
So you can never rule out a safety car. So I think all the people that have gone onto the medium tyre early and are now just trying to get themselves sort of into that groove are probably where it should be, trying to run. Oh, as we see a big incident there between what looks like quarterback and Hegel, as Hegel is now out of the race. That
and we've had
drivers look like I don't know if there was contact there, but they were definitely close to each other, and then span in unison. Hegel making contact with the wall there. That's sadly going to end his race, and quarterback lives to fight another day, lives to do another lap.
But we've got yellow flags in all three sectors. I don't see a safety car, but
this could be a virtual.
Could be a virtual. Okay, I was going to say, because I think it is quite odd to see yellows in all three sectors.
Absolutely, so it looks like this will be a virtual safety car, I imagine. Just trying to look now into the feed to see if I can spot one of the...
They do look like they're driving a lot slower, so...
Absolutely, they'll be if it is a virtual safety car, they'll be asked to be held to the delta, as you'd expect from the general F1 race anyways. So I'm just trying to spot here. It doesn't look like they've got any of the screens on the track for the flags. It looks like it's flags only rather than having the light displays along the side of the track for the drivers. But I have just managed to catch one, and it is a
VSC, as Jake has just been given a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car.
Yep, and that's now the VSC ended, so we're now back under full racing laps. So with this lap, I believe any DRS that people would have had would be disabled, but it's enabled as they cross the finish line this time round. So it's not like a general safety car where you're going to wait 2 laps. I believe with the virtual, it's immediately back available again. Yeah,
as you said that, we did see the rear wing, I believe, of Jason on Bakes, and what was really weird about that incident between Hegelfire plays and quarterback is all chaos broke loose. We saw Bakes spinning in the chicane, and I think he's now one or two places down where he was, and it's just brought this titanic battle between himself, Jordan, and Sniper behind as well.
Yeah, as they go down to the first corner, then that's Mark and Jordan there battling each other down into the first sector and keeping it nice and clean, but they can't afford to battle too much. They have got Sniper, Kuvelix, Moon, and Zhao Jr. all breathing down the necks, just waiting for them, just to have a little, be a little slow into that corner, fight each other a little too much, brings them right into place. They really can't afford to be doing around here. And as you can see now, we've got Jason Kennedy on Clary, so on Jordan, here we go.
Remember, still on those soft tyres as well. I think
absolutely, yeah.
6 laps was the time in which they started to wear off, so bear that in mind. He wants to get that move done as soon as possible. If he can't get it done in the next few laps, he's going to really struggle after that point.
Absolutely, those mediums will start to sort of give you more grip there. So he's going to have to make hopefully he gets a good drive out of the last corner as we go through. If he can just tuck up nice and closely, get a good drive out of the exit, use the traction of those softs just to get alongside out of the corner, and then use the DRS to go past.
But as we noticed from the sprint qualifying, he kind of struggled with straight line speed. So maybe that will have an impact down the straight. He doesn't have the greatest exit. In fact, he's got Kuvelix and Jesse both directly behind him, and he has just left the session. I wonder if he's struggling with some kind of connection issues.
Absolutely, that's unfortunate for him, but it does bring Kuvelix and Moon into play here, that they're fighting. Oh, this is very close.
Very close racing. Incredible racing in between Jesse and Kuvelix. That Mercedes just makes it through. I honestly did not think they were going to both make it through turn 1 and 2 together there.
Absolutely, and at the front here, Logan, our first race winner, got a dominant 4-second lead here, so hopefully he can just keep it together. We saw this last week as well, and unfortunately he was his own worst enemy and just didn't quite got it wrong a few times coming out of turn 3 at Bahrain. So hopefully he can just keep it cool here. It's a lesson from last time. I imagine he just wants to keep it cool, put that result in, and be good.
He sent me a few words before the start of this race, and he said, "No pace expected." He said, "Just going to keep it clean, keep it stable, keep it consistent." And look, he's now leading the Grand Prix, so I think it's the right ethos to go into this race.
Yep, he just needs a cool, calm head. He's an emotional driver, as we said last week, so if he can just keep it just nice and cool, nice and easy, he'll be absolutely fine. As we see here, the two Ferraris, Zhao Jr. and Quarterback, having a little battle here. I don't know whether these drivers actually know each other. A few of our pairings do, up and down the grid for the teams, but I don't know if there would be any team orders there or whether they are just absolute wheel-to-wheel racing for it, but that was a clean move by Quarterback there just to get through in the last sector.
I can't quite remember what happened to Harrison. I feel like he was second at one point in this race.
Off a little bit, isn't he? Yeah, so he's
Did I miss something in there?
I think he may have pitted, so I'm going to go through here and we'll have a quick look. We're just going to see, have a look at who has pitted for when. So he hasn't...
As he has just spun again as well.
So he's having a bit of a mare getting around this track here. Those mediums maybe not coming up to temperature and working like he wants to. But that being said, he's not stopped yet. So those tyres are 5 laps old. He should be getting into the working window. Maybe he's got a bit of a, there's some mixed setups here. A lot of people running very competitive wing setups to try and maximise, their chances here. But I wonder if it's just a case of that, so the car's a little too much on the nose, just a little too much rear instability, catching him out when he's pushing. Potentially,
you always know if you go for pace, there's a consequence of going for stability. And for me, I'm the driver who would usually go for a little bit of stability. I think I'm more confident in driving a stable car to the end of the race than a fast one. But yeah, I think just also on another note as well, I don't think anyone's told Jesse that this isn't a last to first challenge, because he's right up on the back of Jordan for the 4th place. And I think he's going to get him as well.
This is what Jesse does. Jesse flies through the grid and he goes through on the inside, makes it look easy, and it's done. Jordan tries to fight that back on the outside. He'll get no room around there. It does put him on the inside for turn 3 where he's going to go for the challenge, so Jesse will have to hang it round the outside. Jordan gives him the room, gives him so much racing room there as they then fight into turn 3, into turn 4, and Jesse not quite getting it, so Jordan's not going to give him that position easy. But let's see as they go through the rest of the lap here. He'll get plenty more opportunities to go there.
Yeah,
good racing from both of them.
I wasn't given the greatest camera angle there, but it did look, I think, that Jesse locked up a little bit. So whether he just went as late as possible on the brakes, but it kind of looked like he lost that momentum around the first corner.
Yeah, and as he come through now into the DRS zone, he is 0.15 of a second behind him, so he's going to try something down into this turn here as we're on board with Jesse through the broadcast cam that I've got here. So I'm just seeing him, and it looks like he's got that move down done on the inside there. And it looks like he's made that move stick. So there we go, Jesse's through. So continuing his last to first challenge. Let's see how far he can get up. Oh, as we have a yellow flag in Sector 1 there, that looks like that could well be the Haas of Blaster. It indeed is. Looks like he's maybe missing a front wing there. We'll have a look. Might just be a little technical hitch.
We have had a safety car, I believe, is out on the track.
Yes, indeed. So there might be some debris on the track there. As I said just a second ago, looks like the Haas of Blaster there, missing the front wing. So Rob Arnold having some issues there. I don't know if there was an incident with another car. I didn't see another car nearby, but he's obviously maybe been racing with people. I'm going to have a look at Jake, who would have been up the road from him. Oh, looks like Jake's also missing a little bit of his front wing, possibly.
I'm also seeing a few penalties come through from speeding under the pit lane and speeding under the safety car as well, so I'm not too sure.
Absolutely, I have a feeling that's probably just people getting a little bit caught out. Maybe people, because it'll be around this time that a few people maybe think to pit anyway. But with that safety car, I imagine we're going to see a lot of people come in now. So we've got all but 4 drivers that have now come in for their first stop. I think a few of them came in a little earlier on under the virtual safety car, but now we've got, looks like the rest of them coming in now. And they'll be moving onto, I should suspect, onto the hard tyre. And indeed, it does look like it is. Although Harrison coming out on the softs. It looks like it's going to be a mix of strategies that's going to take us to the end. It was last time, and it all sort of balanced itself out in the end there. But I imagine a few people just looking to try and capitalise on getting up the grid as quick as they can. So as we're following then, let's just follow Logan, see if he comes in. He does indeed, so Logan will be in for the pits this time round. Let's just see if we have also Penguin in second. We're just going to see and keep an eye on them, see if they follow him in. Or whether they want to keep their action. So looks like Penguin there is making a last-minute dive.
And Bakes beats him into the pits as well.
Bakes beats him in. That is very questionable action there from Penguin to go into the pits in that way. That's not really on.
Reminds me very much of Hamilton in Germany 2019. I can hear Bono in my ears going in.
Absolutely, a last-minute call there. So luckily in without any collision, but I imagine that Bakes there in when he was coming in, it was very last minute. Seeing an AlphaTauri beside you as you're going into the pit lane, probably quite terrifying.
We will 100% review those things after the race. They're definitely the teething issues, like all our broadcast stuff, that we don't want drivers to be doing, so that will be noted for the next weekend.
Absolutely, and as we come through here, we're now seeing cars catching up with the safety car, the Aston Martin safety car this time round. I believe it was the Mercedes last year, so Aston Martin safety car. Is that boding? Does that bode well for our Aston Martin runners? Where are they currently? They're 3rd and 6th currently, so not too bad here. Seeing Bakes or kind of climb up. I'm hoping that he gets himself a nice result in here. He's been real pushing himself lately. It'd be good to see that pay off for him, get him a little bit of confidence, break a duck that I feel he's been having, where he's been great in practice, but when it comes down to it, just having a little bit of the nerves kick in, and he just wants to push that extra 10%, and sometimes that just comes back to bite him. But all the cars now lining up behind the safety car, just going to be working those tyres, trying to keep them nice and warm. Especially
if you're on the hard tyres as well. We've got the safety car in this lap. We've got Logan on hards. We've got Jesse in second on mediums. So that's going to be very interesting to watch. Does he expect another safety car? Maybe. But then I think the rest of them... Oh no, we've got Penguin softs. We've got a whole host of different tyre choices from cars behind Logan.
Yeah, the strategies are all over the place. So let's see how this plays off. There's obviously plenty of racing left to go. We are just under a third of the way in, so there's still plenty of laps to go.
I think Logan has blinked. We have our own guidelines, our own racing guidelines for this racing. So we want single file driving for when it comes under the safety car, which is what we got, which is brilliant. But we have Jesse with an amazing run going down to turn 1. Is he going to get him? Late on the brake, but no, he's going to... Logan goes a little bit wide around the outside of turn 2. Jesse makes the move stick. We've got Bakes all over the back of Logan going down into turn 3 with Pengoy right behind him as well. And Pengoy's got him on the soft tyres. He's going to have Logan by turn 4. And he has. Logan's, in the matter of 4 corners, gone down from 1st to 3rd place. Those hards are just struggling to get up into temperature.
Absolutely, and it doesn't help that he went into that first turn extremely hot, and Jesse gave him absolutely no core. He gave him the racing space, but he gave him that and no more going into turn 2. So his turn 2 was compromised. It just it's the thing that happens where if you get one corner wrong and you've got a train of cars behind you, they just all start pouncing on you, and you don't get time to recover.
Exactly.
He's luckily got a little bit of a gap here to settle back in.
Especially the high speed as well, right? Like, if you've lost the momentum in the first one, you've not got the momentum for the second, the third, or the fourth. And we saw that just there with Logan. Hopefully, he can get those tyres to the heat that they need to be, the window that they need to sit at, and kind of sit tight and keep his head level, which is a very hard thing to say for Logan. But hopefully those tyres will come back to him towards the end of the race, because surely those cars in front of him are going to need to pit.
Yeah, they're going to have to. I mean, Jesse is still on his original pit strategy. He's 10 laps in on those mediums as Pengoy goes in for the lead then. So Pengoy on the softs really making hay while the sun's shining. But the people on the hard tyres, their tyres should now start to come to them through this lap. Usually takes about a lap of racing to get those tyres into the temperature zone. So I'm just having a look here, actually. I'm going to have a look on board of one of these Aston Martins just while I'm here and just see. So, yeah, it looks like those hard tyres, if they've got them up and working, should be edging towards that mid-90s, mid-90 degree range, which is what you're looking for.
I've just noticed, well, whilst we're on the Aston Martins, they've switched positions. It was Bakes in front, remember? And now we've got Alex in front. So I wonder if that was a bit of team orders going on. I mean, this is not for any championship points by no means, but there's a good relationship. They were teammates last season. They're teammates this season. Do you reckon that was a bit of camaraderie between the two?
I have a feeling maybe it's a case of just saying, hey, yeah, you've got the earlier pace, like pull us along. Like, there's no need for them to fight. If they know one of them's faster, the other one can sit in the DRS and they can just both be quicker. So they're very tactical people. They're very consistent. They've raced with each other a lot. So I imagine there was definitely some work there rather than fighting for the position. You know, I think if it came down to points towards the end of a season, they fight. But until then, I have a feeling they've been working together very closely. Yeah,
they absolutely do. I knew that firsthand from last season when Bakes would often be the thorn in my side when going racing with Alex. They do anything tactical to try and claw any points away from me. So great team player there. But maybe this season we'll see the opposite. Maybe we'll see Bakes be the leading team member. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, it could be to anyone. This is the fun thing about these qualifiers. We're seeing a real good mixed pack. This is really reminiscent to us, at least in our league as well. Obviously, some of the viewers will have history with our league, but anyone new, we've had 2 seasons. Oh, as Jordan gets a little bit squirrely coming out of, I believe, turn 5 there, causing a yellow flag in the beginning of the second sector. That's just dropped him down a few places from 6th into 9th. But as I was just saying before, like anyone that's got history with us and will know the racing, knows that we typically see, you know, a good 4 or 5 people as our sort of the top, the cream of the crop in that sense. And just like the era of F1 from about 2008, 2012, this game's shaking it all up. The people at the front are no longer the people you normally expect, and I hope that sticks throughout the season.
Absolutely. It's going to give us, as the commentary team and the audience, like, we're going to go into races not knowing what to expect, really. I think, you know, at least last season you go, it's either going to be Alex or Ginny. I can't speak for myself. That'd be a bit I can't be too modest to say I'd be up there as well, but at least competing with them, I'd be there like 100%. It's going to be either Ginny or Alex that I'm racing for this race.
As we get another safety car, so quarterback there on the main straight. I think he's got it wrong coming out of turn 9. Didn't manage to catch it on the feed, but he's on that straight just on the exit of turn 9. So that to me says he's maybe got a tyre on the grass there. Just on the exit, it's caused the car to spin. That would have been a high speed incident, but that has pulled out another safety car. So here we go again. The chance for the people at the front now, maybe, to try and, you know, his Pengoy, so it's going to close the gap up. But I wonder if now, do you just jump onto the hards and try and maximise this? Like, what's the strategy now? You know, there's been a lot of safety cars already, a lot of opportunities to pit. So do people just, you know, stick it out now? Do you pit? Do you not?
You'd have thought that Pengoy would on the softs. Surely they've maximised their working range. I can't imagine they go too much further.
No, and this would be a cheap stop for our man Moon in second here, but I do wonder, you know, he's done 12 laps on those mediums. They're not going to last too much more in that optimum window. I imagine they'll probably see out about 20 laps before they're really tired. But, you know, if he pits in now under that safety car, he does get a little bit, you know, it's going to be a cheaper pit stop than the racing one, but everyone's close by. He's still going to lose a lot of positions, and he opts to stay out. So he's going to see it through. He'd prefer to try and build up a gap with those mediums than he would pit in and drop all the way back. Maybe he knows he's got to do the climb once, he doesn't have to do it again. As some people now coming out of the pits though, so we have had a couple of people pit in, but they'll be off to go and rejoin the back of the pack as quickly as possible.
We're currently on board with Jesse. He's been on those mediums since the start of the race.
Yep.
What would you do if you were him? Because ultimately, what has happened there?
Well, I wouldn't do that. That looks like
That-
someone's got caught out behind a safety car, or they've been asked to wait. So they've caught up with the safety car, and the safety car has taken off before they've managed to get past it. And I think that Harrison there has slowed down for the safety car and caught Jesse out. So I mean, Jesse's now going to have to pit.
I think commentator's curse has struck me in my in my first outing, everyone. I was about to ask what you would do, but I can't imagine any of your answers would be to drive into the back of the AlphaTauri.
No, sadly not. But you know, if front wing being still attached to the car, I think what I would have done in that situation is probably have gone in. I think it would be time, you know, like, yeah, these people are on, you know, the hard tire as well, but maybe, I don't know what his strategy was. I don't know what tire he started. Well, he would have, he started on that medium. I think it's time to change the tires. I think I would have gone for a hard set here and just tried to ride it out, banking on the fact that there's probably going to be another safety car after this. It seems to be getting quite a few incidents in this race, quite a few people making mistakes and causing a safety car. It's not even incidents with other drivers that then maybe would force a little later on in the race those people on hards that have done a few laps on them to then come in again to get fresh.
That's true. The only saving grace for Jesse is the safety car isn't in this lap, so he can change those tyres, change his front wing, and come out, you know, you'd hope, right at the back of the pack for when the safety car does come in on I believe, the next lap. But it's gonna be, if one last first challenge was hard, a second one is surely going to be even harder.
Absolutely, it's going to be an intense few moments here as I'm just looking at Jal Jr. and Blaster down in 13th and 14th respectively, just at the moment racing round. It's almost as if they're at full racing speed, just catching up onto the back of the pack there. And I noticed Blaster at the back taking a little bit of a gamble here, maybe for this restart on the soft tyre, brand new softs. So
interesting.
See how it goes here.
As we were saying earlier, Penguin actually didn't come in to pit, so he's still on those used softs. Do you reckon they're going to be as good on the restart as they were when they were brand new? I don't think so.
So he's done 6 laps on them. I reckon that tyre, at its best, will do 10 laps before you really start to see the drop-off. So he's going to take the very last of the tyre, keeping that lead from Logan in second. He should have a couple of laps, I believe, before the DRS is active to maybe try and eke out that second. That's his main goal, because then he can try and stretch that tyre out. It will be, you know, he won't be getting the best out of it, but maybe he can make it as quick as a slightly used hard for a few laps if he's not. But if he gets in the DRS, and then I think he's almost got to pit. If he doesn't get a first couple of laps outside the DRS, then he's got to pit in, because he'll only start going backwards, and he doesn't want to fight and slow himself down. He might as well pit in.
So with that said, that does kind of mean he's out of sync with the drivers behind him, such as Logan, who you'd believe is going to the end of the race on those hards unless something happens. And then Alex, I also believe, is on the hards, and Bakes too. He's surely, you got to think, when everyone is on different tyres behind you, surely maybe it's a bit of a risk to be on the tyres that you're on, and you might want to change them.
Absolutely, yeah. He's going to need to, you know, think about his strategy. Hopefully, now that, you know, he's just got to follow that safety car. He's got a few moments to think. You know, he'll be going through in his head, I'm sure, what his strategy is and what he's going to do. I would bank on another safety car personally. As I said, with my strategy for Jesse, I would have pitted in and then gone expecting another safety car or virtual safety car that would maybe cause a few people to go in. But it looks like there's some green lights there on that safety car, so I suspect it's going to come in this lap. It just, as it was going down the straight there, it did turn green for a few moments, so I'm not 100% sure what the lighting on the safety car means. I know they go out when it's due to come in, but going down the straight, I did see a green light on it, so maybe that's signalling to the drivers that this will also be the last lap. And it looks like we're going to get the drivers all started and bunched back up together this time, rather than last time where it was a little more staggered. So we're going to have to see here what's going on. And I'm just going to take some chance now to have a look at these tyres. So Logan's been heating these softs quite aggressively. He's got them, they're in the high 70s. He's not able to get that tyre in. So these hard tyres, if I go down the grid here and just have a look, I think everyone on that hard tyre is in those 70 range. Yeah, everyone's good. So it's going to take him a lap to get those back up again. So Harrison on his 8-lap old softs as well, actually. So both AlphaTauris taking an old soft strategy, which they're going to have to coordinate their pit strategies. You would hope they're communicating for that, because if they both try and come in, you don't want to double stack after a safety car. That would be an absolute nightmare. But I have a feeling that they're going to take a little while to get these tyres up to temperature. But here we go. Safety car is in this lap, so we'll be ready for a way for the resuming of the session.
Yes, and interestingly, like we had in Bahrain, we've got Pengoy leading his first safety car. This will be interesting to watch. Logan's led a few. I wonder if that experience will shine through. Whether we'll see any drivers caught napping on the restart.
Absolutely. This is a, like, in terms of the first two, this is an identical restart to Bahrain, I believe, where we had Logan chasing Pengoy. Oh no, it would have been chasing Harrison down for Bahrain there. Sorry, I've got the got my Alpha Tauris mixed up. But yeah, Logan chasing one of these guys. He's off. The restarts. Here we go. So Logan there, been caught napping a little bit. There's a little bit of a gap for them.
All the drivers are warming their tyres going down that main straight.
They want that. They want that heat in the tyre. They need it. Oh, as I see, unfortunately, our man who was catching looks like he's also been caught out. He's missing a front wing again. Moon down in 14th. Having some rotten luck in the middle part of this race. He's got to do a full lap without a front wing. I understand that the front wing damage in this game sort of, doesn't affect the car as much, but he'll definitely be feeling it. Hopefully he can get that thing back to the garage and get through, but he'll be praying for another safety car for sure. As we turn then to our front runners and have a look through these. So that 1.1, 1.3 second gap, that soft tyre immediately up to speed. So fast through the restarts, doing exactly what I said he was going to need to do. Just build that gap. Don't let the DRS become a thing. He can then try and run away, build that gap, and then hopefully he can just come in and slot himself in on maybe some fresh mediums towards the end of the race is the shot for these guys. And
likewise to Penguin, his teammate for this race, Harrison, has also got on the softs, and he is all over the back of Jason Kennedy, who's on the hards. So
absolutely.
At the moment, that strategy looks like it's paying off hugely, but surely by the end of the race, the fortune's going to change. They've got to bank on another safety car for this strategy to work.
Yeah, they're both going to have to pit at full race speed. They're both on, so Pengoy and the AlphaTauri in the lead here on 9 laps on his softs. Harrison, who's just moved up into 5th with a stunning move around the outside of Sniper there, or down the inside, he gets on the straight.
DRS wasn't even enabled down that straight and he was past him.
But he's on 10 lap old softs as well, so this is really going to be, these two drivers, they've got to use the same pit box. They're both on quite old tyres. This is a hell of a gamble from them to see where they end up.
Absolutely, and a sight I have not seen for a very, very long time. We've got Alex Stopp, less than a second behind Logan Watt.
Here we go. Let's see, these guys who have they've raced many times before at the front. You'll know the racing between them well. You've been there yourself. This is going to be, are we going to see a classic showdown between them here?
I'm hoping to see a lot of side-by-side action if Alex can get to the back of the Alfa Romeo. Just quickly, we've got a close battle between Jinnit and Jason. Jason just seems to be on those hard tyres, can't switch them on. There's so much time to the drivers behind.
Absolutely. Well, the two drivers behind him, so he's pushing Kuvelix down in 8th, is also on the hard tyre, able to sort of maintain that gap. But it's the drivers that were behind him, of Harrison and Jinnit, that started on tyres that, Jinnit's on the medium tyre. He's got 5 laps on that tyre. He could potentially try and push that towards the end of the race. So Jinnit's right where he needs to be to do what Jinnit does, which is drive through and end up near the top towards the end of the race. So we're going to have to see how he fares through the next few laps as people start to come in and their strategies come through. But he's made the move stick already.
I was about to say, yeah, one of those cars has already been dispatched. Only another 5 to go. He has got penalties on board, remember that. So that might play in it towards the end of the race. But at the moment, really strong driver on a great set of tyres as well. They could possibly... Do you reckon they could go to the end?
I think they possibly could. They're 5 laps old and he's got... Well, I mean, he's got quite a lot to do. It would be cutting... it would be pretty close. He'd be cutting it very fine to put it there. Those tyres may be at risk of a puncture. But last week we saw one of our drivers hanging their softs out that they were on until they were about 89% wear. So people are already trying to hang that tyre out to make the strategy work. So we'll have to see how this goes. But I think he'd be cutting it fine. but I've noticed he's putting in purple sectors. So Jinnit on that medium tyre, Matt Quinton, they're flying, especially through that first sector. I don't know if he's going to come through to complete the fastest lap for the race, but he is definitely going for it.
He has done it. You're absolutely right. A 1:20.351 on those medium tyres.
He is pushing for everything he's worth, so he'll actually probably be maybe on the back of Harrison on those old softs now. Those old softs are going to start 12-lap old softs. They're going to start to fall off. That's at the range now where those things are no longer going to be effective versus a medium tyre that's switched on.
Just to pull away really quickly, we're having a three-way battle between Jordan Kuvelix and George Russell. It's turn 4. I believe they're all on the same tyres, but that was wheel banging stuff. No idea how there wasn't any more contact there.
As we see here, Kuvelix and
so
George Russell
close between these drivers.
Very close.
And on the back of that, you've got Jake Smalls and Rob waiting for some more action to come their way.
Absolutely. So this is the different 5 cars from last time, but it seems on these restarts we always get guaranteed. We get treated to a nice 3-car scrap with 2 cars lying in wait. Always something you'd like to see here. And I know these drivers do. Oh, as we see a little contact there with Kuvelix and Clary. Kuvelix going into the back of Clary there. Maybe just a little too much overspeed. Needs to watch that there. He'll end up with some damage or worse if he's not careful. But definitely close contact here between the drivers trying to fight for these positions.
Wait, just to cut in as well, we've got Aston Martin on the back of their teammate, very close. We saw Alex on that last lap getting really close to Logan, then losing a bit of time. I think he's lost it to his teammate.
He absolutely has. Yeah, we can see Mark Baker on the back of Alex here. Is this now where they invert the cars again, or do we reckon they're going to keep things as status quo?
Which driver do you think's got more pace? Which one would you have ahead?
See, I'm not too sure. I think they're very close on this. Because our Baker here has been really putting in the practice. He's been really putting in the hours. So he's definitely got pace around this circuit. But then we've got Alex, who's in 3rd currently. He's just robotic with his consistency. He's always got the same pace. He'll rarely make a mistake, which now I've said it, he's probably going to with the commentator's curve.
I've had my dosage of it. I think it's about time you had yours.
But if not, then, you know, he'll have an off lap now, but he'd be reliable so much. So I think it's worth keeping him out there, keeping that speed going. Don't shake it up too much, you know, especially when they're so far, or so close, onto the back of Logan here. So, you know, they've got podium positions within their sight, and even the win, you know, that top spot. As Pengoy comes in from the lead then, 12 laps on those soft tyres, and he's calling those done. He's saying, hey, they're toast. Give me some fresh rubber, would you kindly? And
I'm going to guess he's going to put on the medium tyres for the laps that are left.
Pit lane, so I'll let you know. So let's have a look at what's going on.
Thank you, Ted.
So it's softs. He's going for
He's going for another set of softs.
Absolutely, which, I don't know, with 11 laps to go, he pitted on 12 lap old, so with 11 to go, maybe that does make sense. It will give him the best chance of climbing up through, but he's a ways off the pack now. He's going to have to dispatch that little group of cars that we mentioned before, from 7th down to 10th, the 2 Alpines, Blaster, and George Russell as well there. Whereas Josh Wilmot, as you'll see him on the stream, over in 8th. He's George Russell on my screen, that's his Steam name. So Wilmot, Josh there. Fighting. So he's going to have to dispatch all of those, but first off he's going to have to get onto the back of Jal Jr. and sort that out. So we'll have to watch that progress.
So at the front we've got our synced drivers, the ones who you'd say weren't running orthodox strategies for this race. They're all on the hards. They're all, you've got to presume, are going to the end unless any safety cars come out, and they're all within sight of each other going down the shortest of the straights of the circuit. So this is Alex is basically pushing him throughout that chicane. And talking earlier about the robotic, I think he was the consistency, just to give you like an idea for anyone who is new to the championship, to the league. He had, what was it, 17 or 18 podiums, which is the most we've ever had. I think it's the most that's ever been in Formula 1, as he takes the lead into the first corner.
Absolutely sweeps it around the outside, cleans it up. That was very clean.
So a testament to his consistency again and his speed. He's now leading this race. Which, going into it, I actually believe he only had like a couple of hours of practice. I think he's only done the remainder of that practice today, as he was on a lovely vacation. So yeah, a much deserved race for a great driver.
Absolutely, yeah. You can just keep it there now. That would be what he needs to do, is just do what he's done countless times before. Just put in the laps, keep it away, soak up that pressure. He's been here so many times. He knows what he needs to do. Now you wonder whether any more team play will come into it. Does he try and slow this alpha of Logan down and make sure that he gives his teammate Mark Baker the option to get into second for an Aston 1-2?
But Baker's got Jinnit absolutely breathing down his neck.
Jinnit is on the scene. He's dispatched the cars that he needed to. He's done everything he's got to, and he's now on for that fight. So this is what Jinnit does. We mentioned this last week as well. He comes in, he'll pit a few times, but he'll just go flying past everyone and back up into the top. So this is going to be a very close fight at the front for, I imagine, the rest of the duration of this race now.
Yeah, 100%. And I can't remember what lap he pitted on, but you'd have to say his tyres are in the best shape. They've got the most pace. I believe they're fairly new. He himself is unbelievably fast, and he's right. He can literally smell first place in front of him.
He can indeed. Oh, there's been a mistake there. That looks like that might be the Hassov Blaster out in the exit of turn 3 there. We'll have to keep an eye on what's happening with there. But it looks like the car is moving again on the track, so the hazard has been cleared. No need for safety car or anything like that. So that's probably just an unfortunate spin there. He's still retaining that 10th position for now, it looks like. So hopefully he can just get back in there. So one thing I do want to look at here, as I'm just going through my data here, is that so Jinnit, that penalty is 3 seconds currently. So you're right, he's got the better tyre. He's got 5 laps newer medium tyres against 15 and 16 lap old hards. Can he get past them all and push out?
Oh, we had Logan spin coming out onto the final corner, and Zhao Jr. retiring. So it all happens at once here in Spain.
Indeed it does. I'm not sure why Zhao Jr. has retired. It's down on the straight between turns 9 and 10. Is that a mistake out of turn 9 again that's caused some terminal damage? Looks like the car's parked up on that escape road. It doesn't look like it's throwing full course. No, we're
now on to green flags with Jinnit right on the back of Bakes with no DRS to protect him now. Surely within the next straight or two, Jinnit is going to be by him and then onto the battle for the lead. But Logan would have been another cork in that battle, but he's spun it. He's now 5 seconds off the lead, and we've got Alfa Romeo 4th and 5th.
Indeed we have, and there's going to be absolutely no love lost between these drivers here, Mark Baker and Matt Quinton. They are going to fight tooth and nail for this. Mark is not going to make this easy for him in any way, shape or form. They've battled before. They've had comings together before. They've battled on and off the racetrack as well, which must be said. Absolutely. So there's going to be no question here that Mark is going to make that Aston Martin as wide as he can for this. Surely the first time I believe they've raced together since their incident in Abu Dhabi. So yeah, like you said, memories are going to be very short on this one. I think they're both going to be fighting as hard as possible for this position. It means nothing as well, by the way. I don't know if we mentioned that at the start. I think the Twitch cut us off. But these are just the qualifiers. These are just be as clean as you can, you know? This is to get into the league racing. And, Jinnit's done it around the outside into turn 1. Beautiful. The minimum amount of room given. Oh, as we see, Blaster there making a mistake. That's a safety car being thrown again. That's full course yellows. Blaster having an issue coming out of what I believe is like the turn, I guess, 7 and 8. Sort of that uphill chicane. And likely getting the car onto the curb on the exit of turn, I guess who you call turn 7 maybe. I'm not sure about the numberings for that particular part of the track, but I know that if you get your car onto that sausage curb on the exit of the chicane there, it does really unsettle the car. So I wonder if that's what's happened there. But here we go then. A lot of safety cars in this race. I think we had 1 safety car last session. This is definitely the opposite of that track. This Spain track proving a real challenge for our drivers. Yeah, we're gonna have what we generally love to do in a weekday evening, a 5-lapper, you know, a 5-lapper to the end, and we're gonna be having that. We've got some of the fastest drivers on the grid doing a 5-lapper to decide the official Qualifier 2 results. Are they gonna put on some new tyres? What do you think? Well, Alex is coming in, so here he comes in. So stops coming in. Looks like Quinton's following in behind, and obviously to not double stack. Stayed out. Staying out. but he's presumably going to be a sitting duck for this restart. But depending on who else pits, maybe he's not going to have them to battle immediately. But we see here Jinnit and Alex going on to the soft tyres. So the soft tyres being chosen. There's a couple of other drivers further down the grid as well that have pitted on for the softs, and a lot of cars in at the moment on those softs. Mark is going to be a sitting duck. So too will Sniper be, who's now taken second place. And then Jordan Clary here over in third, but they are on 18 and 19 laps respectively. Old, hard tyres. It's going to take them a lap to get them up to temperature anyway, and they're going to be feeling it. Those tyres are going to be past their prime. Everyone else is on softs. But also we have George Russell or Josh Wilmot in 6th place currently at the moment, 19 lap old hards. Everyone else, so we've got 4 cars on like late teens hard tyres versus everyone else on either brand new softs, or Harrison is out there at the moment on basically brand new but 4 lap old softs. So expect those cars on the hards to probably fall down the grid on this restart or fight tooth and nail, but I have a feeling in these low traction zones they're just not going to have it, especially on these opening few laps. This could get messy.
Yeah, the delta between these 2 tyres is huge. So I don't think, like the last official Formula 1 race we saw Leclerc hold his own on those older tyres. I don't think we'll be able to see anything like that on this race, just because the delta between them is so high. Like, it's kind of a no-brainer to be on the softs over the hards for this one. I know I could be commentator's curse again and we could see something totally different, but honestly I think we're going to see the soft runners take those hard runners in a matter of corners, not laps.
Yeah, it's going to be very close, but they're also all going to be fighting each other. This is the thing. When you've got the 3 cars in the lead of the race currently, the top 3 going for it as much as they can, fighting each other, but also trying to defend from a flurry of cars that will also be fighting each other. That's essentially the 3 mobile chicanes, not through the quality of the driving. They'll be doing it as fast as they can, but that delta is going to be so large. It's going to be an absolute nightmare finding your way through these first couple of laps. I think if you're someone like Jinnit, who wants to, naturally just wants to fight through, I would say that discretion's going to be the better part of valor here. Maybe just let them run through. You're going to have time in this race to catch back up to those soft runners. Let them go and fight through first, and then pick up what's left of the guys running in the hards as it comes through. Don't try and be brave here. Don't try and do the double moves. It's high risk. And I think, discretion being the better part of valor. Just let them go through. Let them make the mistakes and just drive through the chaos.
I think you might be right, but also just to highlight drivers that have been pulled back into it with this safety car. We've got Jesse, who we saw have a fantastic drive earlier on and kind of had the best start, the worst middle, and hopefully a better ending to this race. He's on the hot softs. He's going to be right on the back of the pack come the end. Surely we can see him maybe get into the top 5.
There's always the potential, but he's driving through now, coming through to catch up to the back. I think he's going to make it with plenty of time to go, but you would hope to give us our 5 laps, or I guess it will be our 4 laps of full racing, that the safety car comes in this lap. I'm not sure what the minimum amount of time is, but I believe the lights on the safety car are indeed off, so they will be coming in this lap. We'll be racing
this lap. We've got Baker, then we've got Kennedy, then we've got Clary, which he was high up there, but then kind of fell down. We did not expect it. We've surely we're going to see into the first corner. Cars on cars going out of this last corner. Everyone's going to be on 100% battery as well. Who do you think is going to use up their battery first?
Well, let's go through and have a look here. So the batteries are
as they get underway now. Bakes has blinked. He's off. The top 3 cars has spun. Clary has spun into final corner. Out of this race with another Mercedes as well. Out of this race.
Two of the hard runners there by the looks of it, having issues off the start.
Cold tyres.
Cold hard tyres, indeed. No, that's a sad state of affairs for the pair of them there, but trying to start off the line on those old tyres, it's not easy. Those tyres aren't up to temperature, they're not up to speed, and they're fairly worn, so
it does not matter where any driver goes, he's just going to drive on the other side of the track, and he's going to absolutely... He's already into the lead by turn 5.
And 5. I mean, that's, it's not quite a Mercedes he's done it on, but a Red Bull on softs, and the other cars on old hards. That's reminiscent of a race last year.
This racing is unbelievable. We've got Alfa Romeo off the track, overtaking his teammate with Alex. I think overtook 2 cars into turn 6, turn 7 maybe, or going up the hill. Like I said, like we said, those hards are just not doing it. We've got Baker holding his own in 3rd, but you've got to admit that the drivers behind him are surely going to get past.
Absolutely, they will. So this is damage limitation now for Baker. He needs to make that Aston Martin wide, but he's going to be a sitting duck down this main straight here. As the traction that comes out of Logan, he's going to be on the back of him by comes the end of the straight. So Baker's gone all the way to the inside to defend. He's going to return back to the racing line, but Logan's not going to be able to make the move this time, but he's going to have so much more traction coming into these first 2 turns that he's just going to be able to drive up onto the back of him here. He's going to have the grip going around these sweeping corners just to keep such a high amount of speed by comparison. So it's a matter of time.
And we saw when
Ginett
was going through as well. It doesn't matter how you position your car. It was just like, it doesn't matter where you go, mate. I'm going to go the other way. And
it absolutely matters
pass.
where it positions it now, as Alex is fighting him here for the lead. They are fighting now, going through the uphill section here, coming to turn 9. Alex was alongside him from about turn 4. That was really close stuff between them. So you say it doesn't matter where he positioned it, but it definitely matters now. And this will be perfect news. This is what Logan's going to want to see ahead of him whilst he's waiting to dispatch Mark, who will probably be slowing them down as much as he can to try and give his man Alex the best shot of winning this race against Ginett. But we're going to be seeing these drivers trying to get past, but they'll be looking at...
and Ginett spun it!
He spun it, and he's lost the car. He's lost the front.
He's out of the race. Has Alex got any front wing damage? And safety car, is that safety car out as well?
That might be a virtual rather
I
than
see
a
a
full,
yellow car driving out the pit lane.
That is a full safety car. That is a full safety car.
Are we going to finish under the safety car?
I think we may finish under a safety car here.
Didn't know you could do that.
I didn't know either. So that's interesting. We'll have to see what happens. Maybe it's out for 1 lap, in for 1 lap, and we'll have a lap dash.
Maybe.
Hold out hope just yet, but that's...
Wow, that
really
was...
amongst the pigeons. But there's an Aston Martin 1-2 if it does. What sad luck there for Ginett, just pushing on that last sector, trying to make his car get out of that corner as quick as he could.
I couldn't see if he... I couldn't see if he beached it on that curb or not, or if he just lost it on the power.
He was riding the curb and the car got away from him. I think he was just a little too keen to try and turn the car. Rather than ride the sausage curb to the end and then turn it in, he was trying to defend the position. And he's paid the ultimate price for it there, sadly.
No, this last safety car is absolutely... Well, the one before this one is... It's just sent so many people out of the race.
Yeah, this is going to be strange. So I think by the time... So unless the safety car will pick up Mark and Alex and Logan this lap, the lap that they're just about to start to begin. So, but maybe does it come in the same lap? Do we wonder? Do you know? Is it just going to get them through? You know, the end of Sector 1 and Sector 2, and then come in at the end there? Because if not, then it will lead the last lap of the session. A sniper there getting disqualified.
Unsure what too many penalties. It said multiple penalties.
Multiple penalties, so he's sadly been struck there. I know he got a speeding in the pit lane one before. Maybe he went in for the pit again, or maybe he just, cut the track a little bit there. Maybe he got a little squirrely on some colder tyres or something. But that's we've had a high rate of attrition during this race. Spain really challenging these drivers.
We saw it last year. We had I don't know why Spain is a testing track, great huge runoff areas, high speed. We see a lot of people who just can't make it to the end.
I think it's one of those corners. It's so high speed and it's so on the edge, and the curbs are so unforgiving that it takes incredible reactions to be able to catch the car if it goes into a slide. You're thinking coming out of turn 9, if you get it slightly onto the grass and it turns the car more than you want, recovering that is an incredibly difficult feat. So I think it is just, it's one of those tracks where here we go.
So we are going to have one racing lap before the end.
One racing lap. Here we go, and
well,
it's going to be Bakes leading. So this is really interesting here. Does Bakes defend from Alex coming out of this?
Now I've never seen a one-lap sprint race before, but we're about to see it.
Yeah. This is going to be really, really reminiscent of the season finale.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, this has been an astonishing race. There's been plenty of action for you guys. I wish a few more people were finishing it personally, but we'll settle that off the track. We've got plenty of I say plenty. We've got one lap of on-track action left, so let's make the most of it here.
And he's gone. Bakes is gone. He's off.
He's away.
Alex looks like he's been caught napping. Logan's all over the back of him.
Here we go then. This Logan fighting Alex here could mean that it gives Bakesaw said the space he needs to take a win in one of these. Oh, and Logan getting onto
all over the curbs
at the end of turn 1, and it's cost him some time there.
Oh, and Alex has pushed Bakes around in turn 3.
Oh no, that's such unfortunate luck. The driver that was doing everything right there. That is so unfortunate. Just the overspeed from the soft tyre causing a bit of a problem.
Unless he just dropped it by himself, but he was basically pushing him along, I'd have thought.
Maybe there was some contact. Maybe he started to commit into a slide. So we saw it in the previous restart with the Alpine and the Mercedes. Those old hard tyres on that first lap. You know, they haven't quite got the grip they should. Oh, that's so unfortunate there. But that is going to mean that if we can just hold one more racing lap here, or one more sector, one more set of corners to go, for Alex to take his first race of this entire season, his first race on this game, as I understand it, beyond maybe some testing to make sure it's working correctly. His first win. Yep. He is opening his F122 BBBR Season 3 account with a win.
With Logan Watt in second, and Jake Smalls in third. Last of the podium. What a great result for him. Who would have expected that? He certainly wouldn't have going into this race. He's going to be so chuffed. And I tell you what, it makes me wish we're going to be having some podium interviews for when the season kicks off. But I tell you what, I wish we were having them now. I'd love to hear his reaction to his third place right now.
Yeah, I imagine it wouldn't be PG.
Yes, we'd have to give a little warning to him before he entered. But great result from himself. And Alex, like you say, who would have expected? Driver of the day, 100%. And he wasn't even meant to be racing tonight, and here he is, walking onto the podium, winning.
Incredible race from him there.
I mean, we might see some scrutineering going on with some penalties being given out, maybe with if there was contact between him and Bakes, who would have been at fault. We'll have to take a closer look at that. But wow, yeah, everything apart from that was textbook sublime.
It absolutely was. I think there was plenty of people there that sadly didn't finish. We had a good third of the grid drop out, which is unfortunate. But yeah, there's another qualifier next week. I know a few of them have been in qualifier 1, so it's not the end of the day for them. They've still got opportunities, and they've done some great racing. But yeah, so our top 10 then for this particular race. I know the results that you'll be seeing are for the overall weekend, but the results for the race. So we have Legion in first, so that will be Alex Stopp. Following him, we have Logan Watt in second. We've got Jake Smalls in third, Kuvelix in fourth, Harrison fifth. Jesse, after his up and down race, ending in 6th. We've got Josh Wilmot there in 7th. And then bringing it through in 8th, we have Mark Baker after his unfortunate restart on that last lap there. And then in 9th, and I believe the last car to be classified as a finishing car, will be Pengoy in 9th.
Wow, what a race. At one point, Pengoy was leading this race, and now he's in 9th. Yeah, what did you make of that?
I mean, it had a bit of everything there, didn't it? It was really action-packed. There was close racing. We had hards on soft tyres. We had everything to play for there. So that was some really good racing all around. There's a few mistakes, but I think that's the nature of Spain, I think, when it comes down to a lot of it. So, yeah, overall, I think some good racing, and I think there's some people that will be really happy with that result, and some people that I think will come back into the next qualifying event with the bit between their teeth.
Yeah, absolutely. And so with that in mind, we have just done the second out of our 3 qualifying sessions. We're in the next one, which is next weekend, which is Abu Dhabi. It's our final one. After that, we decide our 20 drivers that are going to go into Season 3. And then, as you said earlier, on the 7th of August, we're going to go into our round opener at Bahrain with 20 drivers all battling out for points in the BBBR Championship. Honestly, it's nothing. If you thought that was entertaining, wait until they get actually racing, because it's going to be incredible. And I think actually that rounds out our stream. Everyone has finished. Everyone has left. I'm Liam. I've been commentating with you. Steve alongside.
Yep, what a great day of racing.
What a great day of racing. We'll see you for the next one. Take care. Goodbye.
See you next time.